Joseph Fair, a virologist and epidemiologist who's worked on the front lines of the Ebola outbreak in Africa, believes facts may be our best defense against the coronavirus.
There's so much misinformation out there, and it's breeding a lot of confusion. Let me ask you this. Is COVID-19, as you call it, is it in the air? If I take a deep breath, did I potentially take a deep breath of the virus?
Especially not outside. You know, we're sitting in front of nature's greatest disinfectant, which is sunlight. The UV light inactivates the virus.
So around all these people, I'm relatively safe.
Absolutely. You need to come into direct contact with it, either by someone coughing or sneezing and those droplets landing on your face, your eyes, nose, or mouth, or you've touched a surface and then you yourself touch your face, nose, eyes, or mouth.
You're telling me that everything up here is the point of how the infection gets into my body?
It's natural instincts. Everybody touches their face, probably up to 50 to 100 times per day without even realizing that you're touching your face. It's going to happen. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get coronavirus. If you're sticking to that rigid hand washing protocol, if you're using tissues and barriers, etc., you're going to be able to scratch your face, obviously, and not infect yourself every time you do so.
And with that in mind, we set out to explore how to best protect ourselves from the virus.
So public transit makes a lot of people nervous. I mean,
Yeah.
This car is going to move. Usually there's not a seat.
Usually in close proximity.
And you're gonna hold
Again, I'll hold it with a tissue. If I don't have a tissue with me, I'll usually do an arm hold like this. Just to keep my skin from contacting it.
But, this idea of being 6 feet away from people, that's not going to happen on a typical bus or train.
Right. And that's why it's up to the individual. You know, you've got to cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze with your sleeve, ideally. We know just from studies from San Francisco's metro that a lot of antibacterial resistant pathogens, etc., last on these surfaces for a very long time.
He doesn't recommend masks except for sick individuals or trained medical workers.
And, I have this desire to put on a mask right now because there's so many people around us.
Yeah. The only way we recommend really mask, because there's only a specific type of mask that will protect you against the virus itself, and we tend to reserve those for healthcare workers. Also, if you're not using it with goggles, it's not really going to protect you because you've only blocked two of the three known routes of transmission. If you are sick and you're coughing, it is a good idea to maybe use a surgical mask yourself as a sick person. That way, when you do cough, if you're not covering, you've at least got a physical barrier between you and those droplets that would come out when you cough or sneeze.
Next, we headed to the office.
I think it's probably fair to say millions of Americans work in environments not unlike this, sitting,